I'm doing data science. Data science will include the artificial intelligence. The artificial intelligence is inspired by the brain, by the neuron. So it's try to mimic how the neuron works.
That's really interesting.
Yeah. Today I will talk about um, the learning and the revolution. So from the biological perspective, there is a simple organism and to the complex organism. What the difference is that usually the simple organism do not have the brain and it only have the simple neural system. So all their feature and habits mostly uh, are the expression of their gene. Um, so for each individual organism, like the single cell, it cannot change too much given the environment. If, for example, if um, one single cell animal interactive with the environment, if the environment change, the single cell animal cannot update because they have multiple um, proliferation, so they get selected by the environment. So the individual cells, organism will die, but their gene will selected by the environment. So the one organism will with the adapted gene will survive given the new environment. So, but with the more complex organism face the more complex environment, they are more demanding to the environment environment changing. This each individual will have the longer life, and that will tend to have the more complex information processing system. So imagine we have individual organism that's like a agent. There's a sensor to sense the environment, and also there's the action by the individual organism to act upon the environment. So, but what inside the agent, there should be a complex information processor system. So given different environment, the agent will do different action. So for this information processing system, some is hardware, some is software. What means hardware? It's more inherited from the gene. So, for example, some animal can walking immediately after it get born. They can do much complex action immediately after the animal born. But for human being or some primates, they cannot do very even simple action after the it's get after it's get born. It's need a long-term learning, long-term childhood to develop this skill set. So that's called software. So, so the interaction to the environment, which update on the fly their information system. That's called learning. So that requires a complex information process system. That's the brain. So here is our brain. There's a neuron. The neuron will have the synapses connect between different neurons, and their synapses will uh, transport information from one cell to another cell. For example, if there is a dog, if the person gives the food and ring the bell, after a while, if the one person only ring the bell, the dog will think the food is on the way. So that's the process of the learning. So because the food and the bell occur at the same times, the connection between these two information will get correlated, and also the cell between the two neurons will get connected, will get strengthened. So today, people will try to build the artificial neural network that try to mimic the cell in the brain, and the cell, the neuron will have the input called the downgress, not the output through the axon to the axon terminal, and similarly, so the artificial neuron will also have the input from multiple source and output. In another form, as a agent who interacted with the environment, there is a penalty and avoid system. The reward system. The reward is by the endocannabinoid system. When the human being or any animal interact with the environment, such as get some food, the person will feel happy, and that will it's a form of reward to the brain. Sometimes if there's some danger or pain, that's causes the brain feel bad. It's a aversion system. This the avoid and the aversion is from the evolution. It's inherited by gene. But yeah, pretty much that's it. But also the person who built the similar machine learning model, that's also mimic the brain. And there is an agent which have the sensor and action. The action will interact with the environment, and also the sensor will have received the information from the environment, and the agent will do the similarly judgment to the environment by their awards and a penalty to adjust their action to the environment.
Okay, thank you for your presentation, Mr. Zhang.
Yeah.
I learned a lot in your presentation about evolution. Okay, so as a dancer myself, I am interested in the choreography process. I was just wondering if the AI can choreograph dances.
Yeah, I think currently we have diffusion model. Now, if we input some sentence, some text, it can generate the model and the video. But I think this model will applicable to choreography. Like for example, if we put input some theme, some general description, it's also possible to give a series of dance gesture actions. Yeah.
That would be really awesome.